bars, as well as protect yourself from oncoming target, similar to saying soft and wet from automatically collect the debt owed.
Yo, what is going on with you guys today? So today, as you guys can see from the title of this video, I'll be checking out another informative JoJo Bizarre Adventure type anime video. And yeah, first I want to give a shout out to xforts, the guy who made this video. Him and Metas are the two guys who are essentially my go-to when it comes to getting more information into the whole lore of JoJo Bizarre Adventure as a whole. Even though I'm not even caught up to the anime, I still think it's important for me at least to get a better understanding of JoJo Bizarre Adventure as a whole. And actually, by the way, what actually got me into JoJo Bizarre Adventure was actually Stone Ocean. I watched the first few episodes of Stone Ocean on Netflix. Then I just caught myself and stopped 3 episodes in and was like, you know what? Let me just go back to the very beginning of the anime and start from the beginning. So I'm pretty familiar with Jolene, obviously. In Stone Ocean, but I don't know too much about any other characters in Stone Ocean. But yeah, that's besides the point. I want to check out this video breakdown analysis of all the stands in the JoJo Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean anime. So yeah, let's get right into this video, man. All right, let's get it, guys.
Kicking things off with the first stand to appear in Stone Ocean is what I refer to as Stone-Free Underdeveloped, which appears as just a strain with a few minor abilities that help the user, Jolene Kujo, our main JoJo, survive her first day in Green Dolphin Street Prison. Jolene is able to use this ability shortly after being pierced by a fragment of the stand arrow that was given to her by her mother and delivered by her lawyer during her transfer. Jolene's string is awoken as soon as she arrives at Green Dolphin, almost like a defense mechanism, and is first seen allowing her to eavesdrop from close to long distances, as well as use the string physically to pickpocket and attack, as it would appear to be a
pickpocket. That's a low. Wow, I'm not gonna lie. If I had that ability, this might be stereotypical, but I'm gonna do a lot of actually, you know what? Let me not be stereotypical. Off rip, I might steal, but you know what? I'm not gonna really steal. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not.
Piano wire, when under tension, being able to cut flesh. The string's range is also
Did he just cut off his ear?
Considerable, as Jolene was able to track down a moving car and kill the driver while still inside the prison.
Okay, I remember this. Yeah, she was going crazy early on.
Sense being able to sense where the string is without actually being able to see it. The string is also an integrated type stand, which is a first for a main JoJo. Integrated meaning
tough.
That the stand and the
I don't remember this.
Are one and the same.
No, she's tough for this.
The user's body. Other examples of integrated type stands from earlier parts would be Earth, Wind, and Fire, Octon Baby, and Canuck. As for now, the string does not have a name, but the user is our main JoJo.
That baby's an abomination.
Next up is Goo Goo Dolls, the first minor villain fight in the part, with an ability to shrink anyone within its range.
Oh yeah, I remember this. I think this is where I left off around here, where she was shrinking.
Due to their similar abilities, although Goo Goo Dolls differs in a few ways, as the stand cannot shrink its user, but can be activated on targets much easier than Little Feet. The stand shrinking limit appears to be about the size of a mouse, as the user will often force its target into the carcasses of small rodents. And the affected target will remain shrunk as long as it's within the stand's range, which is short to medium specified as 20 to 30 meters. The stand can also recall its effect at will in order to crush the target between objects or in small spaces as they expand. The stand itself appears as a small
yo, what's this guy doing all up on her like that?
Cannot change its size, but has claws and teeth that can ravage a shrunken target.
He knows what he's doing.
The stand user is Jolene's cellmate Guess, referencing the fashion brand, and Goo Goo Dolls referencing the alternative rock band. Coming back to Jolene, following Goo Goo Doll's attack, we see her stand's full awakening, stone-free in its humanoid form, which retains all of its abilities.
This is okay. I've seen a lot of stands when I've done my reaction to different stands. This is up there. I don't think I've seen a stand wear glasses, so I'm not gonna lie. I think out of all the stands, off rip, I would say JoJo. I think the main JoJo, Star Platinum. I'll also give it to Dio, but then this one, as far as swag though, I don't recall seeing any JoJo character wear glasses, so this got to be number one for me as far as a swaggy stand character design.
The strain being an integrated type stand, but Jolene can now choose whether to summon the stand or use its abilities through her own body. But the stand is still essentially strain, and when close to Jolene, it's just her strain heavily concentrated, forming a humanoid body, providing physical power comparable to say Star Platinum or Crazy Diamond.
Using some American currency.
And Jolene, now with the full capabilities of Stone,
this is still sick to me.
Just becomes a superhero.
That's very a very
versatile stands
nice way to use her abilities,
allowing her to swing around like Spider-Man, punch like Jojo, heal herself by stitching up her wounds, which her body is also made of string, so she can also
this is a versatile. Okay, yeah, she's
deconstruct most of her body and her
I like this ability for her.
Objects like fences and cell bars, as well as protect herself from oncoming attacks by weaving the strings together to create an extremely durable textile.
Damn, she didn't see that coming either.
Bulletproof vest. And there's about 100 other creative uses of her stand throughout the part. The stand user is of course Jolene Kujo, whose name is in reference to the Dolly Parton song Jolene, and Stone Free is a reference to the Jimi Hendrix song of the same name.
Wait, what? Okay, so her name is part of a song? Like it's a reference to a song.
Song about breaking free from oppression and the importance of living life by your own rhythm.
That's ironic, breaking free from oppression and she's in jail.
Free to do as you please. Moving further into the part, we have the returning Star Platinum as Jotaro Kujo arrives at Green Dolphin. And this is
the very first time I saw him when I watched Stone Ocean. This is my very first introduction of him. He seemed like a pretty cold dad when I first saw him, which is I personally like, so that's why he resonates with me so much.
Platinum's third appearance on all stands, so we should all know what this stand does by now. It's Star Platinum, incredible strength, speed, precision, it's pretty good at drawing, and it's just the original.
Oh, it can draw, okay.
Eventually obtained the ultimate ability to stop time. In part 6, it is stated that Star Platinum is fully developed with a maximum time stop of roughly 5 seconds, although Jojo's reaction time is noticeably slower as he's aged and will sometimes not be able to activate the ability.
How old is Jojo here? Because he looks like he's in his 20s right here. Like when I first saw him and they introduced him as Jolene's father, I was like, this guy, he's a young ass father from what I could tell from this. He looks like he's at least mid-20s, late 30s maximum.
Of the part, the stand's durability drops from an A to an E, showing that Jotaro is becoming weaker as time passes.
He deadass looks like the same age as Jolene.
There's of course Jotaro Kujo, and the stand's name is in reference to the Star Tarot card. Another minor villain stand, we have Manhattan Transfer, boasting zero offensive capabilities on its own, rather a stand that complements its user's own physical abilities. Being a highly trained veteran sniper who's almost completely blind, but with his stand being a small floating object that senses movements through wind currents, allows the user to visualize spaces through this information like a sixth sense, comparable to 360-degree vision, being able to notice very precise movements. Although the stand's readings can be disrupted by unnatural wind currents caused to confuse the stand. The stand can also read literally an amplifier to help behind cover and ricochet bullets. The stand user is John Gallier, who is actually responsible for framing Jolene and creating the plan to get Jotaro to prison to take revenge on him. As John Gallier is referred to as a forgotten follower of Dio, who after 20 years still holds a grudge against the Joestars.
I will never get over Dio wearing lipstick. Like I said, I'm not caught up to the anime, but whatever context as to how he became this guy where he wears lipstick and super tight outfits, I'm gonna need an explanation because where I'm at in the anime, I haven't even seen Dio pull up yet. But yeah, I don't know what context or justification for him to wear makeup, but we'll see.
Nothing more than to end the bloodline. But plot twist, the real plan was being orchestrated by our next stand, Whitesnake, to lure Jotaro to Green Dolphin and steal his memories. Using John Gallier simply as a pawn.
Who just got packed up?
Is the stand possessed by our main villain of the part that is introduced very early as well.
They got CDs in their face?
It has a lot of abilities. It was first seen used to place Jotaro and Jolene in a dreamlike state and slowly decay their bodies with an acid produced by the stand, which is a slow process comparable to stomach acid digesting food. The stand can also influence the dreamlike state to some extent, as it allowed John Gallier
to fight Jotaro. I don't remember seeing all this.
Stand within the dream.
I might have seen it. I don't remember it though.
Separately is Whitesnake's main ability of disc manifestation, being able to remove 2 main discs from any individual, being a memory disc and a stand disc. And removing both will leave the target in a comatose state. The stand can...
Okay, so is that how... Okay, I'm asking too many questions that I don't want to get spoiled on, so I'm guessing that's how stands become. You have to insert the stand into... Like, you have to actually insert a stand CD into your body to like have the ability of a stand. That's crazy.
Then freely use these discs.
I don't even know because I haven't seen any in the anime yet.
Easily as ejecting or inserting a CD into a player, allowing the user to play God in a sense, injecting new memories into themselves as others as well as stands. Although any individual is limited to 1 memory disc and 1 stand disc at a time, the stand can also create and collect a seemingly unlimited amount of discs, although they must remain physical objects when unused. Disc manifestation also...
So wait, you can collect a lot of... I'm asking a lot of questions like I said, but like I said, I don't know all this stuff. So can you use all those? I would highly doubt like one person could just take all this, like use like 50 discs. That would be crazy. Like what would you even like? Nah, that just couldn't happen.
Also extends to smaller attributes such as senses like vision, being able to remove a specific aspect of a target, similar to say Soft and Wet from Part 8, but through a disc. And on top of all of that, Whitesnake can also create complex illusions through disguising the stand as other people for a short period of time. The stand is considered long range.
I should be taking notes low key.
Eyes on most of the prison remotely.
Damn, I don't have a notebook on me.
Considerable strength and speed at close ranges, being able to get the jump on Star Platinum and keep pace with Stone Free in a fist fight. The stand user is Enrico Pucci, the Green Dolphin prison priest
Rico
and successor
Pucci.
to Dio, whose name is in reference to the fashion designers Enrico Caveri and Emilio Pucci, and the stand's name, Whitesnake, is in reference to the classic rock band of the same name. Next up is a much simpler stand, Kiss, with the ability of sticker duplication, being able to place
I remember her stand ability
and perfectly duplicate it, as well as remove the sticker.
I forgot what it did.
Object to collide with the original and fuse together, leaving the original object slightly damaged. The Kiss sticker will only duplicate.
Ooh, wait a minute. Okay, I don't remember seeing all this. Okay.
Reason, for example, if placed on a person, it will not duplicate the entire person.
Got some thighs on her.
The body part it was stuck to, like a finger or a head. Kiss is a stand infamous.
Oh, wait, so you can.
Oh no, that's
disgusting. What you can do with that?
In every category besides precision, which may seem bizarre, but always remember that stand stats are relative to the stand's ability, and no stat has a set baseline. So what
stand is this one right here? What is this? Have we seen it? Is this the one he's talking about? Oh, it is. Okay, I see the Kiss marks.
Explain the stand stats. A in power, referring to the force at which the two objects are fused back together, as no matter the obstacle or distance, once the sticker is removed.
I'm not gonna lie, Jolene was like my #1 favorite character, a female character, like, you know, visually. But I don't, like I said, I wasn't paying too much attention to her, the light skinned girl with the dreads, but I'm not gonna lie, these clips I'm seeing of her, she's looking pretty, you know, she's looking pretty good.
They must return to each other.
But
A in speed,
Jolene's still #1 for me right now.
The objects are duplicated and restored, which is virtually instant. A in range, as a duplicated object can go as far away from the stand user or original object as possible with.
Was that a tongue?
No effect. C in precision, because as we mentioned earlier, the stand can only duplicate within reason and duplicates whatever it's closest to, which may not always be as precise as the user intends. And A in learning, which is the most interesting stat, as it implies that Kiss is very underdeveloped and has great potential to grow over time. The stand user is
She just casually has a gash in her shoulder,
referencing the musician Elvis Costello, and the stand's name Kiss is in reference to the rock and roll band of the same name.
I heard about the Kiss band.
Also considered one of the
worst my gosh, what is going on right now?
Transfer from user to target ability, but this paired with the
one guy is just casually hung and now
it a lethal stand for its target.
Yeah, this is a lot of spoiler, but okay.
As small propellers that will protrude from the affected area of the body the user is damaging. The stand's range is seemingly infinite after the user has determined the target, so it's best to stay close to prevent the user's suicide. This stand is considered so bad because in order to cause any real damage or kill your target, you would need to kill yourself.
Self-infliction,
the stand user is Thunder McQueen in reference to the fashion designer Alexander McQueen and Highway to Hell.
Oh, okay. I know about that brand. I don't have any Alexander McQueen brand, but I've heard about them.
Form and the ability to recreate spaces and objects.
When I get money, I'm gonna get some Alexander McQueen shoes.
These are referred to as ghost rooms and ghost objects, which cannot be seen or entered by anyone unless the user grants them access. These ghost rooms do not take up any physical space, similar to the space within.
What kind of bar is that?
Zippers like pocket dimensions, and are usually accessed through cracks and crevices within the prison walls. As well as within the ghost rooms, they will remain exactly the same as they were right before they burned down. So since Green Dolphin had burned down in the past and was rebuilt, it is a perfect place to use the stand. The stand user is Emporio Alnino in reference to the fashion designer Emporio Armani, and the stand's name is in reference.
Oh wait, these are some high-end brands. Okay, so I'm guessing Araki, or the person Araki, obviously. He has some he has some really good fashion sense, it looks like. Okay.
The Talking Heads song, Burning Down the House. Next up is one of my favorites, Foo Fighters, which is stated to be more accurately described as a new species rather than a stand. But the creature does possess the stand Foo Fighters, as well as uses the name Foo Fighters.
First of all, okay, don't.
This bean was created by a stand disc being inserted into a colony of plankton by Pucci to act as a protector of his discs. The stand appears as an enlarged plankton with mechanical features, but is actually made up of an entire colony of smaller plankton, allowing the stand to dispose itself at will. This also makes the stand exceptionally durable, as it doesn't have any vital weak spots or vital organs, and even if a lot of the plankton die, they can just reproduce. The stand is most effective and comfortable in water, as it needs water to stay alive, and that's where it lives, although it can roam the surface, but will need to stay exceptionally hydrated through water and bodily fluids from humans to maintain its health.
Basically, without water, it's dead. Okay, it looks like.
The stand eventually opts to reside within a human host, which is a corpse from another prisoner. This being another ability of Foo Fighters, as the stand can invade human bodies with smaller plankton. In its human form,
just absorbing things.
Its finger as a gun to shoot smaller parts of itself like bullets. And throughout the part, similar to Stone Free, FF is extremely versatile and comes up with new uses for its ability often.
He just gave her contacts? Whatever the thing?
Like healing other people with plankton. The stand user is, of course, Foo Fighters, or FF, in reference to the American rock band. Marilyn Manson, the Death.
FF? What American rock band is named FF? I've never heard about that. Not that I even listen to rock that much. But
stand similar to the Darby Brothers from Part 3, as its ability revolves around games and bets. The stand requires the target to make a bet with the user in a game of chance or skill, and if the target loses the bet, the stand will automatically collect the debt owed. But with some very specific
rules, in her titties?
Such as payment.
But she got money in her titties? Literally inside her titties?
It can only be something you own and will not accept stolen valuables or money, which almost always results in the stand taking away body parts from the target. And on top of this...
Oh, no. Okay. Don't sign me up to play against it, but like for me to have that stand, that's what I was saying. I wouldn't even want to risk that, like me going up against that, because I'm not a good gambler.
Game is always rigged, as Marilyn Manson will help the user cheat in its games free of consequence, but if the target tries to cheat or calls out the user on their cheating, the stand will consider it an instant game over and collect their debts. The stand will also attack physically to protect its user from bodily harm. The stand
how are you just casually digging in their skin like that?
After the Italian
she looks bad though.
Designer Mila Schoen, and Marilyn Manson is in reference to the iconic artist of the same name.
Marilyn Manson, isn't that like... I'm thinking of somebody else.
Report is a stand that can control the weather. Shocking, I know.
I'm thinking of Charles Manson. I'm about to say, isn't that like a killer? But not Charles Manson.
More so than just...
I'm not gonna lie, if you have a last name Manson, Charles Manson ruined it for everybody named Manson. So if I had a last name Manson, God forbid, luckily I don't, I would legally change that last name. But luckily, anybody who has that last name, I feel like I recommend you guys change your name.
Sleet Weather Report can recreate any past weather event that has ever occurred in nature, including extremely specific events such as raining frogs and creating fire tornadoes.
He just said any previous raining event, any previous weather. So when has it ever rained frogs before?
Ability also extends to being able to control the elements that make up water individually, like water, wind, warm fronts, cold fronts, heat resistance,
so that's his ability.
Molecules in the air such as oxygen and hydrogen. In its physical form, it appears as a humanoid stand made of clouds that can attack with force similar to Stone Free, but with added elemental effects. Another extremely versatile stand, possibly the most versatile in the series. It's pretty insane what this thing does.
I would imagine, like, he can do anything with that.
The stand user is Weather Report, taking the same name as his stand, as he suffers from amnesia and does not remember his name. The stand's musical reference is the jazz fusion band Weather Report. Jumpin' Jack Flash is a stand with the ability of zero gravity, as after the user spits on his target, yes, spitting. This is actually how the stand is activated. The spit recipient.
What kind of freaky ability, activation ability is that?
Including walls, floors, objects, other people.
You gotta spit on it to go anti-gravity?
Which is what makes this stand so dangerous. As eventually the lack of gravitational force in the air will create
all that blood is coming.
If a target is bleeding,
she loses so much blood.
Rapidly be sucked out of their body, as well as due to the vacuum, anything containing oxygen
becomes
potentially explosive, like blood. The physical stand is also equipped with centrifuges attached to his wrists, which are a scientific instrument used to spin vials at an extremely high speed using centrifugal force. But the stand will use the centrifugal force to launch small objects like nuts or screws at the targets like bullets. And these projectiles with the zero gravity vacuum are a deadly combo. Also, for some reason, the stand user's fingers and toes have a suction cup property which allows him to maintain stable when in zero gravity.
Why does he look like a... I'm gonna say he looks like a monkey, like just overall.
Which isn't specified if it's part of the stand or if this guy is just a freak of nature. The stand user is Lane Ranger, and Jumpin' Jack Flash is a reference to the Rolling Stones song of the same name. Limp Bizkit is a stand with no physical appearance.
That stand had a lot of interesting abilities.
The ability to resurrect the dead as invisible zombies.
Resurrection? Okay.
The user can reanimate all dead beings within a medium range as long as their remains are still present, being able to raise the dead from their graves and animals from their skeletons and carcasses. And these are pretty typical zombies, pretty mindless, having cravings for human flesh and enhanced strength, except for, of course, they're always invisible.
Why is she always getting like her body part? Like, why is it always her and Jolene getting them? I mean, okay, Jolene's the main character, so she's gonna have to go through adversity, but why is she, I forget her name, but why is that light-skinned, dread-haired girl getting so much like body parts bitten off? A lot of violation, pretty much. I don't know.
Spirits of the dead coming back, but they are still able to interact with the physical world. And even the stand user themselves, upon death, will turn into a zombie, something they were actually unaware of until after they died. And they also become permanently invisible with those same zombie tendencies, although unlike others, the user will remain most of their intellect. The stand user is Sports Max, in reference to the fashion brand Sport Max, and the stand's name Limp Bizkit is in reference to the rock band of the same name. And the stand's localized name is Flaccid Pancake, which has been a long-running meme in the community for just...
No, okay. There is an issue right here because they're violating her. Like, I haven't seen any other character get violated like her before. She's got her... She's getting her head literally gnawed off.
The absurd attempt at localizing this name. Moving into the maximum security ward, after Jolene is punished for the events during the Limp Bizkit fight, we are introduced to Diver Down, the stand with the ability to store and release energy within objects on command. Though more often used is the stand's dive ability, being able to phase through and into objects and people, as the stand can be used simply just to reach through a wall or as a ladder.
Is it a guy or a girl? I'm trying to like
manipulate their inner structure to cause damage
make
or
it
to
out.
heal someone from the inside. This stand is often used to prevent damage, as it can be placed inside a person to act as armor under the skin. Although the stand user cannot use this ability on themselves or phase through themselves with their stand. The stand user is Narciso Anasui, in reference to Narciso Rodriguez and Anasui, both fashion designers. Are you noticing a trend here in Stone
I don't even know.
Is in reference to the Van
I don't want to misgender him.
The same name, Diver Down. Once described by Dio as the weakest stand, Survivor is an automatic,
that is not Dio.
an uncontrollable stand.
Is it? I don't even know.
Capable of causing complete chaos. The stand appears as a column of small flat creatures, usually on a wet surface, that when exposed to people will send a faint electrical current of 0.07 volts throughout the person's body,
what happened to him?
affecting the limbic system in the brain. The undetectable current will slowly increase a person's aggravation and anger levels, eventually forcing most people into a blind rage, which also indirectly increases people's strength.
It can control your emotions.
Strong emotion and ignoring any pain. Dio had considered Survivor the weakest stand because he saw no value in chaos, saying if all of your subordinates fighting
each other,
would crumble.
Bro, can you? I can't imagine fighting someone like that, like looking like that with his mouth up. Nah.
She had seen the value in the stand and collected it.
I like Dio with his nappy hair here. Okay, he needs to maybe sponge it a little bit, or maybe get a low cut. Or grow it out, but okay, it looks interesting with his fro.
The original stand user was an unnamed lodge owner in France, but Pucci had inserted the stand's disc into Green Dolphin inmate Guccio in reference to fashion designer Gucci, and the stand's name is in reference to the American rock band Survivor. Planet Waves is a stand with the ability to attract meteors from space towards the user, although they will not hit the user, disintegrating right before making contact, but will cause the area around them to be an unpredictable shower of meteors. The size and speed of the meteors can vary from
no way. I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of L. If you can shoot down meteors but not hit the target and they're just like destroy the surroundings, what's the point? It's just like, it's almost like just an intimidation factor. It's not really gonna do much to you, but just your surroundings.
Also pretty damn big.
I don't know about that.
Also seem to be completely random. The meteors.
Why is this guy casually having a headlock? Get his ass out of here.
Contact at about 3,000 degrees due to the burning of oxygen as they enter the ozone layer. And the only possible way to hit the user with their own meteors is if it goes through something else first. Planet Waves is Westwood in reference to the fashion designer Vivienne Westwood, and the stand's name is in reference to the Bob Dylan album Planet Waves.
I heard that name Bob Dylan, but I don't know. I think he's like an artist.
It was originally named Earth, Wind, and Fire. This was changed after Hiraki realized he had already used the name before. Dragon's Dream is a stand that works in tandem with its user's natural fighting abilities, as it works as a compass to determine lucky and unlucky spots and relay that information to the user. Lucky spots being where the user can avoid attacks, and unlucky spots being where the user should attack to ensure the most lethal hits on his opponents. The stand's lucky and unlucky spots are based on the Chinese pseudoscience feng shui, which is the practice of harmonization with your surroundings and environment, said to improve all aspects of your life when living in the correct alignments. The user can also transport his limbs into the stand's physical form like a portal to attack from unlucky spots and unexpected angles.
Get your hand out, open that dragon.
Effectively, it requires the user to be a master of feng shui. The stand also has some
I'll be feeling these attacks.
A different personality
like I'm in this anime.
Which will sometimes mock those around it.
God forbid I'd be in this anime. If I didn't have a stand, if I'm in this anime and I don't have a stand, I'm screwed and I'm just gonna be hiding. I can't do anything.
Even the user itself. The stand also doesn't help its user directly, as it's more like a tool which can be used by anyone with an understanding of feng shui. This means sometimes enemies can benefit from this ability and also use its teleportation.
Dragon's Dream's user.
Okay, so one thing I know for sure is that this person is not human. Right here, this is not human. Like this girl, this thing can just like regenerate and just nah.
Enemies can benefit from this.
I don't think I think I might have seen her from what I remember. I don't remember too much about her. But yeah, I don't think this is human at all.
And also
at all.
Use its teleportation.
Dragon's Dream's user is Kenzo in reference to the fashion brand, and the stand's name is in reference to the Thorn Brennan album.
Got some nice footwork.
Yo-Yo Ma is an extremely long-range stand with complete autonomy, having its
someone please tell me if that's a boy or girl. I need to know now.
From the stand user, and it's pretty annoying. The stand poses as an ally, helping Jolene and the gang escape from prison guards in an attempt to befriend the group, with its intentions of slowly killing them with its acid saliva could.
Is there? Okay, is there? Yeah, no, I'll keep it to myself.
Deadly acid around itself while the stand drools, which is undetected.
Ew.
Once exposed to the stand's acid, it will cause pain and bleeding and even the melting of flesh. The stand is also extremely durable, being able to withstand bullets and punches from multiple stands. The stand itself is never actually killed, only withdrawn after disabling the user. Yo-Yo-Ma's user is DNG in reference to the fashion brand Dolce & Gabbana, and the stand's name is in reference to
Araki, I need to I think he got a brand deal with all these companies because he be putting them in these animes.
During the fight between Whitesnake and FF, Pucci inserts a stand disc into FF's head, which causes the water inside their body to boil rapidly, nearly evaporating them. The stand name and user is completely unknown, but from this small glimpse, it appears to be an uncontrollable stand that manipulates heat and temperatures in some way.
Did FF just die?
Of all of the stand discs that Pucci possesses, this is the only instance in the part when he purposely used a stray disc during a fight.
Green Grass of
He just got a whole bunch of discs on deck.
Although it is an automatic stand with the purpose of protecting its user from harm. The stand works by shrinking anyone in increments of half the closer they get to the stand, thus making the stand unreachable. But if close enough, the stand's physical form will attack. If, for example, you trip and fell on the stand, you would infinitely shrink until you were erased out of existence, as you would just never be able to reach the stand. The stand user will recall its stand's effect.
That is very, very interesting. That closer you get to it, you're gonna just start shrinking and not even notice it.
Or friendly,
obviously, until like you get to a certain point, you'll notice it, but that'll be too late at that point.
User doesn't have much intellect. The stand user is the Green Baby, a creation of Dio's bone, the ability of Limp Bizkit, and the effects of the new moon. And the stand's name, Green Grass of Home, is in reference to the Porter Wagner song of the same name. Making his return in Stone Ocean through memories and flashbacks is Dio with the world. And although we don't really
we're gonna see Dio in Stone Ocean?
We do see the stand.
Why does he look so different though? Like from what I've seen in like clips, and even where I watched in part 1, he was more, beefy and muscular. I mean, he's still like, fit and everything, but like it's a different physique type, like more slimmer, but still fit. So like, I don't know what he'd be doing, but I'm low-key need to be on his regimen because like he'll be going in.
We all know what the world does, very similar to Star Platinum, which
that's the only thing I'll give Dio, his physique, the way Araki drew his physique, and the animators did a good job for him.
Covered in terms of its physical capabilities, and its time stop reaches.
And he looks younger
9
too.
seconds in part 3 because of Dio's abilities. Although in part 6 we do see Dio heal Pucci's.
This is a teenager. This cannot be Dio.
Which isn't really explained.
Unless it's like a whole.
So possibly this is one of the world's powers that wasn't shown in part 3,
or
maybe one of his vampiric powers.
Okay. Don't spoil me though, because I don't want to know.
Green Dolphin, and during Jolene's attempt at escaping, there is one more stand in the way, Jailhouse Lock, with the ability of short-term memory loss. The stand is activated if someone comes in contact.
I'm not gonna lie, I would want that stand. Like, if I wasn't gonna go for a powerful stand, or like invisibility stand, I'm not even sure they have that. I'd want to go for something like this, something really like
contact with the area just beyond the visiting room of the prison.
Let's see what it goes. Let's see what he says about it.
The stand will only allow the affected individual to remember 3 things at a time, thus making complicated thought processes or escape plans impossible to remember. The stand user will also interact with their target, bombarding them with
I get so close to her like that.
Enhancing the stand's effect. Jailhouse Lock's user is Miuccia Mueller, also known as Mew Mew, in reference to Miuccia Prada and Prada's sub-brand Mew Mew. And the stand's name is in reference to the Elvis Presley song Jailhouse Rock.
Elvis, okay.
Following the escape of Green Dolphin, we have the final minor villain fights of the part, the 3 sons of Dio, starting with Bohemian Rhapsody. This stand's ability is to bring fictional characters to life, which is just about as insane as it sounds. The fictional characters will manifest in reality by coming off of pages.
So basically like Doodlebop from SpongeBob, where SpongeBob can literally bring, what he draws to life. That's cool.
Screens kind of leaping off the page into life and are often distorted versions of their originals.
Literally like Doodlebop.
Also continue out their faded lives from within their stories in reality.
He brought a whole Gundam. Wow.
Some of the fictional characters brought to life in this arc include the stick figure man on street signs, Pinocchio, Snow White, and the 7 Dwarves, and even Spider-Man. The stand can also bring to life people from the past, like it did with artist Van Gogh. And if a real person sees a fictional character they admire, their souls will be split between themselves and the life of the character, and real people will begin acting out these fictional characters' fates.
So for me, one of my favorite characters is Spider-Man. So if I saw Spider-Man in real life in this anime, I'd literally have a second part of me just come out. That's crazy.
And sometimes even transforming into them. The stand's effective range is unlimited, meaning it is a global effect where everyone on Earth is experiencing the effects of the stand, and it is only defeated by Anasui convincing Van Gogh to create a new character, a new fictional character that would then come to life, with the power to eliminate all other fantasy heroes, which kind of looks like a stand named Put Back, and it uses a vacuum to suck up all the characters and defeat the stand. So shout out to Put Back. The stand user is Ungolo, and the stand's name is in reference to the Queen song, Bohemian.
I was thinking to my head, if nothing happened, like, and things were just going the way they were, how would this be resolved? This dimension.
Moving on to the second son of Dio, we have the stand Sky High with the ability to control rods, which are extremely
Why is he wearing his cow skin outfit?
Organisms that float throughout the air at high speeds, undetectable to the naked eye. These fictional creatures in the world of JoJo are based on a real-life phenomenon of when cameras with slow shutter speeds would capture insects flying in the frame, and during photo development, they became elongated and appeared similar to rods. And in the real world, it was disputed whether these insects captured in the images were a new species until the myth was disproven and they discovered how shutter speeds work. But back to Sky High, so in the world of JoJo, these rods are in fact real insects, but they are not a stand. Sky High's ability is merely to control them with this wrist attachment that has a pterodactyl head on it for some reason. The rods move at extremely high speeds.
Like, especially here in the neck area, like, you know what?
200 kilometers per second, feeding off of energy and heat to maintain the speed. The user can command the rods to attack specific body parts to feed off of that won't really kill the target, but make them an easier target to attack by closing their eyelids, twisting their ankles, or even attacking parts of the brain that give them a delayed sense of perspective. Sky High's user is Rakil in reference to the French fashion designer.
Damn, so we can just do anything to your body.
In reference to the Jigsaw song of the same name. And now for the final son of Dio with the stand.
Out of all the sons, that guy's the only one who looks like his son, like looks like Dio. And why does he only have sons? I'm not even complaining, because me personally, I don't want majority sons when I have kids. But damn, Dio, he be putting them out, like, you know, getting them kids out.
Ability able to recreate and replay memories of events stored in the ground. Otherwise,
is Poochie one of his sons? I don't know if you mentioned that. I don't even know.
To manifest and recreate people and events from the past. This ability can be used similarly to Moody Blues from Part 5, replaying memories to find information, but can also be used offensively by recreating disasters such as plane crashes and trapping your target inside that disaster. Recreated events cannot be altered and must play out exactly as they did in the past, with all objects and people involved reliving their same fate. And it's up to the target of the stand to try to figure out how to survive the disaster by interacting with the people from the past to try to find out who lived and who died. Underworld's user is Donatello Versus, whose name is in reference to the fashion designer Donatello Versace,
and the guy from the turtle from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Donatello.
Backstory is a pretty much one-to-one retelling of the character Stanley Yelnats from the novel Holes. Underworld's name is in reference to the electronic music group of the same name. Entering the final stages of Stone Ocean, we have the stand Heavy Weather, the fully complete version of Weather Report after being reunited with its
fully evolved.
And Heavy Weather is an absolutely terrifying stand.
Oh, he gets his weather, he gets his sting back.
With the ability of manipulating and even destroying the Earth's ozone layer if activated for too long. Although the stand's main ability is to subconsciously alter the ozone layer to create rainbows that will send subliminal messages to anyone that sees them. These messages will convince anyone who looks at them that they are snails, and it will cause the affected to act as if they are snails mentally.
How are you gonna get so? How does he affect your brain that much to make you think that?
Effect is spread to anyone who comes in contact with an affected person,
broken.
Even if they do not look at the rainbows, causing the snail effect to rapidly spread, like a snail apocalypse.
Wow!
And although it's visualized as
Weather Report is so broken, and I haven't seen any videos done on him as like a detailed analysis as to like his power scaling, but Weather Report is busted
people
in my eyes.
Transforming into snails, it's just their imaginations. Heavy Weather's user is Weather Report with his stand and memory disc, and both of their names are in reference to the band and album of the same name. Following the chaos caused by Heavy Weather, Poochie arrives at Cape Canaveral for another awakening, as after fusing with the Green Baby, he evolves his stand White Snake into Sea Moon, a stand-burning Poochie a little bit closer to heaven with the power to manipulate gravity. Sea Moon first makes Poochie the center point of a reverse gravitational force, affecting a 3-kilometer circumference around Pucci, pushing everything away from him in all
directions,
Pucci. As if you were falling off a cliff, which makes things pretty trippy during this fight. As if you were in front of Pucci at the time of C-Moon's activation, you would fall downwards vertically, but if you were behind him, you would fall upwards, as you're just being pushed away from him. It doesn't matter what direction. This force affects all people and objects, giving the appearance that the world has been tipped on its side, while Pucci has complete control over his own gravitational force, being able to stand sideways or simply
the way he's standing.
0G. Physically, the stand's fists have an inverse effect that cause anything they come in contact with to turn inside out, causing any blow to be potentially fatal. As well as Pucci can invert parts of himself freely to avoid attacks without causing any damage. This attack is countered by Jolene by weaving her strings together into a Mobius strip, which is a shape that cannot be physically inverted. C-Moon is in reference to the Paul McCartney song of the same name, and the stand user is Pucci when fused with the green baby, also referred to as New Moon Pucci.
Okay. Good details.
And now for the final stand in Stone Ocean, Made in Heaven. The fully evolved stand.
That's Pucci's stand, right? Yeah. Fully evolved. Okay.
Steps to achieve heaven from
is he God tier right here in this point?
30 years in the making, starting with Dio engraving the 14 phrases into his soul, destroying his stand in his physical body, then being reborn.
So at this point, would Pucci be like top 1 at this point? Because him being literally like his stand being made in heaven at this point, I don't know what surpasses that in my eyes.
Through the green baby by sacrificing the souls of 36 sinners to give his will a physical form.
Look at that. He just made someone's whole mouth turn into a tree.
The successor Pucci would then fuse with Dio's will, being the green baby, creating C-Moon, which then allowed Pucci to be properly aligned with the new moon and gravity to ascend to heaven and finally obtain Made in Heaven. Easy enough. So now with the power of Made in Heaven, Pucci is able to accelerate time all the way to the end of the universe, the singularity point.
Yo. I'm at a loss for word. He can just
resulting in the universe being reborn at the time right about when the part started, and we're all living beings alive.
This is so blasphemous as a Christian, but they literally just made him like straight up God. Like, and I don't even like using that word for an anime, but like it's anime, so I can kind of use it because it's not even real at all. But just Araki just made him literally God, literally. Wow, okay.
And to ever exist in the future will have already seen their fates, knowing their lives from start to finish, which is what Dio had considered freedom or heaven, as fate is an inescapable force in the world.
And what's crazy is I did do a reaction to Made in Heaven stand breakdown, but like just like revisiting this topic and like relearning some more about him, yeah, I just really I'm just now fully grasping what he really can do with Made in Heaven. That's crazy to me. I'm still at a loss for words.
In order to truly live free is to accept one's fate. So through the power of Made in Heaven and being able to accelerate time all the way to the singularity point, Pucci was temporarily successful with his mission. He had killed all of those who opposed his goal, denying them of seeing heaven, which is why in the Reset universe, the main cast is replaced with generic lookalike versions of themselves.
So the villain won. He won. He went into the future and just killed all his oppositions. It looks like from what I can see from right here.
Placeholders to keep the universe's integrity
intact. Bruh. This is crazy to me. So Pucci's him.
As Pucci had killed them all just before resetting the universe, so he was just denying them the privilege of living in this new world where everyone has heaven. Although from the original universe, Emporio was the only ally able to
catch up to this anime
and reach heaven along with Pucci, and with the knowledge of his fate was able to defeat Pucci, causing Made in Heaven to cease to exist, resulting in the birth of a new universe, much like the original, but without the existence of Pucci's influence. Assuming that in this universe, the plan to achieve heaven died with Dio. In this new universe at the end of the part,
I'm so confused on like how we lost, but
different but better lives, as well as fate still brings
this little kid
together, showing that they were always destined to be friends. And personality-wise, they are still
ain't no way that little kid. Nah.
Same people we knew throughout the part.
That will be plot armor, like the garbage plot armor.
She is still the
Okay.
Same person as Jolene, only now she is free from the Joestar fate, living out her own destiny and no longer.
How does she become a baddie? How does she become a baddie to like a really good looking?
So she doesn't need the Jojo naming scheme anymore.
Yo, this guy, get him out of here.
Like a tragic ending at first,
or whatever that thing
the
is.
Most beautiful outcome possible, the creation of a truly wonderful world for all of the characters to live out the rest of their lives together and in.
Yeah, who's Jolene? Jolene don't get a boyfriend moving forward. I just hope it's not this guy, because this guy, I don't know what this thing is, but okay, that's the end of the video. Looks like, okay, wow, I'm at a loss for words, guys. So I just hope that like Pucci, he looks like he becomes a god, and then somehow, I'm guessing some crazy plot made him like, you know, eventually lose his throne on the top, which I don't even want. Luckily, he didn't really break that down too much in detail, or I might have just not heard too much about it. But I just hope and pray that little kid isn't the reason why Pucci lost his, you know, his superpower god tier status. But yeah, overall, all these Stone Ocean, you know, stand breakdowns and like analysis of all the stands that's in Stone Ocean. I like this video. I like this guy's breakdown and like, you know, chronological breakdown of like all the stands that's going to be in the anime. I was actually kind of skeptical watching this video because I thought I was going to be spoiled on like, you know, certain fights and like how things went down, which I kind of was in some of them, but like some of them, especially towards the end, I kind of wasn't really, he didn't really like break it down too much in depth, or like he was just more on surface level, so nothing really too like, and luckily he didn't actually show any fight scenes. And didn't really like, and he didn't really like also say any conclusion to any fights. He was just talking about different battles that happened in the actual Stone Ocean series, so that's good for me at least. But yeah, I definitely need to catch up to this anime ASAP, because like I said, right now my two important things moving forward is definitely seeing Jolene in action and also seeing Pucci. Now my like it was originally catching up to see Stone Ocean again, but now is to fully see how Pucci goes crazy and like becomes his god tier status in this anime, because I want to see how he does that. And I mean, I guess I was kind of spoiled that he ends up falling from grace, but I don't know how he does it or like who does it to him, so I guess I'm not totally spoiled on that. And yeah guys, that's all I got for this video reaction, man. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and we out.